Hi, I'm Michael Woods. I'm a senior at Schreiner University, communication design major with a marketing minor, and I'm going to show you around a little bit today. This is called the Commons. It's actually built to reminisce a little bit about the bullpen, which is what it used to be called whenever this was the military institute. We had a lot of the cadets, they would have to run it to get off their demerits. So we'd actually see during graduation, right before graduation, you'd see a lot of these cadets just running around. So this is the Schreiner University seal. There's a lot of traditions that have to do with this particular part of the university. There's a nice little superstition that it's actually cursed, and if you walk on it, it'll curse you with bad luck. Now I'll take you guys to the Weir building. This is one of the oldest buildings on campus. It used to house everything when it was Schreiner Institute. So I'm talking classrooms, cafeteria at one point, dormitory at other points. Weir's been everything. Right now it serves as our liberal arts building. So these are the classes that you'll have if you take history, English, communication, psychology, any of those majors. You'll have classes in here. It's also not uncommon for IDST, which is our freshman orientation kind of classes, to be held in Weir. On the bottom floor, there's the Center of Digital Learning. This is a new kind of thing that Schreiner's trying out, where basically, because of the way that the modern kind of curriculum is going, a lot of curriculums want you to do a podcast, a video presentation, anything like that. And so the CDL was made to kind of assist students in this kind of way. They have a lot of cool toys in there, cameras, lights, green screens, background. Weir academic building is also kind of interesting because it's actually numbered very off. The bottom floor is 001, right? The second floor is 01, and then the top floor is 02. We have a lot of freshmen walking around looking for the basement of Weir, but really they're looking for the bottom floor. So over here is the Weir Fountain. It has a lot of different names. Berry Circle is one that I've heard a few times, and I thought was pretty cool. You'll see a lot of psychology classes hold their class outside here. So I've walked by and I've seen group therapy going on. It's kind of interesting. Walk right on by past that because I don't want to get sucked into that. We're now entering the academic quad. So this kind of is the central point for all three of the academic buildings on campus: Weir, Moody and Troll, and then Kalou. We all house the three different colleges that the university provides. The School of Liberal Arts, the School of Math and Science over in Troll and Moody, and then the School of Professional Studies in Kalou. It's important to note the Weir steps because it's one of the more iconic views of Schreiner. During your freshman year, we always throw you guys up there, take a huge class picture, all 300 or so of you guys. And then during cap and gown time, when you're about to graduate, we throw you guys back up there, take a picture. Kind of shows where you've been, where you're going, that kind of stuff. You'll see throughout the university that we still take a lot of pictures on the steps, but even the institute used to use it all the time. You'll hear the construction in the background. That is what's going to be what used to be called the Dieter Auditorium, which was kind of our music building, our concert hall, all that kind of stuff. But now it's going to become the new campus ministry building. Schreiner University has a close relationship with the Presbyterian Church. Schreiner himself was not an actual Presbyterian man, but he believed in the mission that the church has. We offer UKirk, which is kind of the Presbyterian youth group here on campus. It's usually run by students who are about to go into seminary directly after they graduate. They're mostly religious majors, but you'll get a psychology major every now and then. Besides that, we also have the Catholic Cross, which is, as its name suggests, a Catholic group. And we tend to have just talks over different religions around the world, led by our own Reverend Jenny Norslane. So now we're coming up to Moody, Troll, and Science. So it's actually a kind of built two-for-one building. The first part of the building houses all the classrooms, some of the laboratory, but not much. And then the back part is called Troll. It houses all the labs. It's always interesting to note this because I'm a design major, so I always talk about this. But this structure was actually designed and built by a design senior graphic arts major. They wanted, apparently, whenever they built Moody Troll, they did not put in a staircase in the middle in the actual building. So instead, they designed this interesting building structure. Some of the new traditions would be the tea drinking with Captain Schreiner versus the old tradition of soaping the water fountain, which had been a long-standing tradition where students would basically throw soap into the already going water and make kind of like a winter wonderland looking place because of all the soap. So now we're coming up to Tom Murray Administration Building. This houses all the administration staff of Schreiner University. Our president, our provost, their cabinet, their secretaries, their assistants, all of that. Our current president is a nice man named Dr. Charlie McCormick. He came to the campus around 8 to 10 years ago. I'm not exactly sure on that. I did grow up with his daughter, but I don't remember. He has a background in folk stories and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty interesting. Right now, he's our president. Our provost is a nice woman named Dr. Muzi. She was our dean of math and science before her promotion upwards. Currently, our dean of math and science is a biology guy named Kylie Miller. So the three deans are, there's Dean Smith, who's in professional studies. He was a graphic design major. There is Kylie Miller, who is a biology guy. And then there's Dr. Woods, who is William Woods, who is an English major. The fountain that I was talking about, where it was soaked, however, it also throws back to our, kind of connects us to our Presbyterian faith. For the most part, it's been pretty empty ever since the soap in the water fountain started to occur. The maintenance actually really enjoys it because it cleans the fountain and they don't really have to worry about it. So it's kind of funny that this was a senior prank kind of gone wrong. Now it's just a tradition. Education building's kind of an interesting story. It actually used to be the president's house whenever he was allowed to live on campus. He left, funny enough, because students would barricade him inside with statues. So the next day, I think it was probably the third president, maybe even the fourth one, literally just called up the board of trustees and just said, hey, I'm moving off campus, and so they did. And so in current times, it now serves as our education building. You'll go in there, you'll basically have a classroom in like a living room setting. It's very cozy. They also give you access to smart boards and all that kind of stuff. So the wall is actually an interesting story as well. It's another way that the cadets would run off their merits, but it's in a very much more intense way in the fact that you have to find a stone down at the river, which is about a mile from where we are now. Oh, okay, maybe less. Probably a little bit less. But they'd have to find a stone that fit exactly where they needed to go, hold it over their head and run back, and then place it. And that's how you would work off of the merits. This is, it's kind of confusing because there's a lot of Calus on Schreiner University, but this is Calus Hall. It houses our professional studies major. On the bottom floor, it's business, marketing, accounting, all of those kind of majors are housed there. The second floor is kind of a mixture between the two, with the more dominant design major, which is the third floor. You'll see a lot of marketing, some education classes are here, all the offices for the staff and faculty are here. So this is Dickey Hall. It houses LSS as well as the Academic Support Services. With the Academic Support Services, you have three options: supplementary instruction, tutoring, as well as the Writing Center. All of them are free for students. So now we're coming up to AC Schreiner Hall. This is another part of the Liberal Arts Department. This houses all of the faculty and staff offices, as well as the some important history of it is that it's named after Schreiner's first child. So now we're coming up to Logan Library. This is, it also houses the 2C, 2SC, as well as the Scarfield's room, which I'll show you both.
So if you actually look up to the ceiling,
It is actually based on the Noah's Ark, kind of another reference to our religious values. So this is the main part of the library. You can see that our university doesn't have like as much space as others, so of course we're a small university. We have a wide selection of books. However, if you don't have a book, then we have a partnership where you can go to this desk right here, the Need Assistance desk, as you see by the little sign there, and you can ask for that particular book if it's in your system. Over here, you'll have access to 3 large group study rooms for study hall. They have access to these computers here. If you just plug in your computer, these TVs, if you just plug in your computer, you get you can practice your PowerPoints, speeches, anything else that you need. Over on the left is the enterprise systems, enterprise technology, all those kind of stuff. This is where the IT department basically is, as well as the current SGA office, our Student Government Association. Student Government Association does a variety of things on campus. For the most part, they're just the voice of the students to the administration to make sure things go the correct way. Going up to the Eddington gym. This used to be the main event center for Schreiner University before the construction of the event center that we have now. Right now, it houses, for the most part, intramurals that you can get involved in through the Mountaineer Fitness Center. For instance, volleyball, football, kickball, any of these you can easily get involved with just by going to the pool is usually closed throughout the school year simply because it's too cold. However, it's also one of the highest paying jobs on campus during the summer. On the left here, you see that this is the open court. Basically, this is for if you ever want to come out and just shoot whenever you feel like it. This building right here is called the Hot Box. This is for if you want more of an intense workout because they do not offer AC in there. It is literally just a box, and they have maybe a few fans going, maybe. So now we're at the Mountaineer Fitness Center. This houses everything athletic that you could possibly go for here at Schreiner. Some examples are the track ball court over here. Kind of special for Schreiner University because it's the only racquetball courts in a 50-foot radius, or I'm sorry, 50-mile radius of Kerrville. Ever since the Family Sports Center was torn down in the early 2000s. This is where our counseling center is. It's staffed by mostly graduate students who are in psychology major, as well as our main counselor is a nice woman named Kim Woods. Over here is the Health and Wellness Center. This is if you go in there if you have sniffles, you want to go check it out, some sort of sneeze, some sort of infection if you feel like that. They can test for that and then get you in contact with a doctor in town if need be. Further down here we have the dance room. This has practices for the Golden Bells, hip hop, ballet, all those kind of dances are in this room, as well as an interesting class called Life Super Fitness, which is run by one of our own students here. He decided to do this class just for his friends, but then the Mountaineer Fitness Center kind of noticed it, and so then they decided to make it an actual class and pay the student for his time. Down this way is where the athletic directors are, the coaches' offices, all those kind of stuff. Schreiner University offers all of these different workout machines, different weights, all for the students to use. Over here, the Stairmasters are an interesting point. The Schreiner University students wanted something like it, and they decided to kind of ask the director of the MFC, and he decided to buy them. Schreiner University Event Center. This houses everything from basketball games, Schreiner Saturdays, graduation, commencement, all of these are housed in this building. So this is the Tim Summerlin Music Education Hall. It was completed recently. It was actually they took the old bones from the practice gym that used to house graduation before we had the event center. And they decided to turn it into a music building. And they named it after our outgoing president, Tim Summerlin, who was always a big proponent of fine arts as well as music. So this is Troll Hall. It is our middle option for the 3 options for housing for freshmen. This one has the most medium pricing, and I like to think that all 3 of the halls have a different kind of personality associated with them. For instance, Faulkner, which I'll show you next, is regarded as a little bit more cold because it has a more professional look to it, because it looks more like an actual hotel. Delaney has a more open, kind of crazy vibe to it, and then Troll's kind of in the middle. So I also like to mention the Greystone program at this point in the tour. So even though Schreiner University is not military affiliated as much as it was back when it was literally a military institute, it still has a pretty strong military background that it is taking advantage of to this day. So the Greystone program is basically, these are the kids who have gone and tried to go to one of the many military academies in the United States, like West Point, any of those kind of places, and they decided that they're not quite ready. So instead, the West Point will sponsor them, send them here, and have them kind of go over everything again. We have a 99 acceptance rate, I believe, 97 to 99 acceptance rate, and so most of those kids get placed instantly after their graduation from the grade. Over here is the Guy Griggs building. This houses our HR department as well as security. Security is 24/7. Around Schreiner, you'll see their little trucks going back and forth. Besides that, we also have a close relationship with KPD, the Kerrville Police Department. And you'll see these little call boxes dotted around campus, and these are just in case someone feels unsafe at night. They can call security to have them escorted back. Here, this is our campus ministry building. This is where anyone in the campus that is religious affiliated stays here, as head their office here. For instance, Reverend Jenny North Lane holds all of her meetings in here. UKirk itself is held in the chapel over by the Welcome Center, but you'll see a lot of their events are held right in here. So we're coming up to Faulkner Hall. This is the nicest option as well as the most expensive option for our freshmen. It is actually based on a hotel down in San Antonio. This is Delaney Hall. It's our cheapest option for freshmen, as well as one of the oldest. It is also regarded as one of the haunted houses on campus. 7 ghosts apparently living with it. Take that as you will. Besides that, it does actually, it is the headquarters for the Global Scholars Program, one of the learning communities offered here at Schreiner University. These are the kids that want to do international law or just studied or just want to know more about the world around them. They get to go to Korea after their completion from this program. All right. Now we're going to the CCAC, basically the heart of any student activities on campus. It houses our student activity board, the den, the mail room, the bookstore, student services, anything and everything student is here. So down this way is the Lion's Den. This is another option for dining on campus, the other being the Schreiner Diner. Lion's Den is a little bit more of the fast food options, chicken wraps, quesadillas, all that kind of stuff. You go there if you're hurrying to your class and you don't have time to sit down and eat the normal way. Just grab the food and go. Over here is the bookstore, or also known as Schreiner Outfitters. This is where you get your Schreiner swags, where you come for your books, because during an interesting part of the Schreiner experience fee that you first pay is that you get access to all your books. You don't have to go on to Amazon and try to order them. You don't have to go find them sketchy websites with all of their PDFs to download. Everything is already prepackaged when you come into the door. Over here is the Center of Advising and Career Development. This is where this is the office that houses the place where you go if you have no idea what you're doing with the rest of your life. Just kidding. This is where you go whenever you need any sort of advice when it comes to deciding what you're going to do for career, as well as they give you access to an area to practice interviews, as well as basically a resume workshop kind of part where you go in there, see if their resume is up to code. Over here is the mail center. The mail center gives you access to your own personal mailbox the second you go on campus. You get a nice little combination code. It's kind of back in high school where you have to remember it and which way to turn the knob. Besides that, there's also the print shop up there. As a graphic design student, I go up there all the time to print off anything and everything that my classes need. So the Commons are an interesting part of Schreiner University's experience here. Because as I mentioned, Global Scholars, the Global Scholars program throws on a variety of events in this exact area. Dia de Muertos, Niños, some interesting ones about New Zealand, Australia, Diwali, the Festival of Lights from India. There's a variety of events that they throw out here that get all the Schreiner students up and at them and come out here, enjoy some of the free foods, free music. It's a pretty cool place. Besides that, we also have an interesting tradition known as the midnight breakfast. Now it's been changed to the late night breakfast because it starts at 11, not 12. This is when all of the professors as well as dean and administrators cook breakfast for the students right before finals. You'll see this line go all the way over to the CCC from the beginning of the cafeteria. Another part of the Commons experience, I guess, would be at nighttime on Thursdays. There's something called Letters, where all of the Greek life on campus has these big cutout stands of their letters, and they kind of have like just a time of their life. They go out there, do chants that have to do with their organization, talk to each other, kind of just foster a good relationship between all of the Greek life.